Hello, dear viewers. I welcome you on the YouTube channel ALLATRA UK. And here we'll have an interview by the project Creative Society 6 Degrees of Connection. There is a theory in the world that all people are united by maximum 6 people in between. And we are inviting people from all over the world to our virtual and also real studios to ask them how they envision creative society and which steps they already do to bring creative format of living faster into our life. So why is such a name, 6 Degrees of Connection? Because nobody comes to our studio accidentally. All people are friends, colleagues, acquaintances, relatives of the people who already were interviewed by us or viewers of our interviews. Same you guys can take a part in same shows, just writing to us to our email info@allatraunites.com. And I'm welcoming my beautiful co-host Elena today to introduce our guest.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Olga. And I'm happy to introduce our dear guest, Brian Schulman, who is a founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe, Forbes featured entrepreneur and LinkedIn top voice, advisor, international keynote speaker, and many more. Welcome to our program, Brian. Could you please tell our viewers a little bit more about yourself and share what inspires you and drives you through life?
Yeah. First and foremost, thank you for having me, and I hope everyone's family is near and far staying safe. And I'm sending all of my positive vibes to each and every one of you. So a little bit about me. So I am known as the godfather of LinkedIn video, one of the world's top video marketing experts. I've been on the internet since it was green screen and chat rooms. Of 21 years of digital marketing experience, strategizing with Fortune 500 brands around the world. I am a Forbes featured entrepreneur, a LinkedIn top voice, the founder and CEO of Voice Your Vibe. I do serve on a number of boards, and I'm also a trusted advisor and mentor to founders and companies across the globe. I was named a 2019 LinkedIn Video Creator of the Year, as well as a 2020 Top 50 Most Impactful People of LinkedIn, and a 2020 LinkedIn Global Leader of the Year for the second year. I am a pioneering top LinkedIn video and LinkedIn Live creator in the world, as well as do international keynote speaking. I miss traveling. Obviously, in the last year, we haven't been able to do that, but love doing virtual engagements as I have during the last year. Actually named the 2020 Best Festive Show of the Year at the IBM TV Awards out of thousands of hours of programming in over 120 countries. My global award-winning LinkedIn Live shows have been featured in Forbes and Thrive Global, Yahoo Finance, in an Amazon best-selling book, was actually syndicated on the Smart TV network, and July of 2019 actually set the LinkedIn Live record for broadcasting live for more than 4 hours. And through workshops as well as one-on-one mastery coaching, I work with founders, entrepreneurs, C-suite execs who want to find their voice and show up and don't know how to voice their vibe, attract their tribe, and how to tell a story that people will fall in love with on LinkedIn through live and pre-recorded video.
Thank you, Brian. Your activity is very impressive. And I see just from your introducing that you're a really social, active person. I wanted to ask, you organize very positive online events, which aim is to help people, to unite them and to bring some changes to our world. In your opinion, how important is it for everyone to concentrate on positivity, to multiply kindness and all the good things, and also to be a social person?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Olga. I think in these times that we're living in, people are yearning for connection. They want to connect with people they can relate with. It's all about relatability. And I think most people feel sheltered in place, alone. They're, may not necessarily be socially active online. I think a lot of folks look at technology, at least pre-pandemic, and go, yeah, it's okay. I can go hang out with Olga. I can go see Elena. We can have coffee or whatever. And when you can't do that, you look at technology in a very different way. We have celebrated events in life, both positive and negative, through technology like this, right, over the last year, and have done things that we may not necessarily be used to. But it's, again, silver lining is we have that ability to do that. And so I think that looking for the positive in everything, that kind of silver lining, as I was saying, is something that's so important, because we have a choice. We don't have a choice in what's happening. We have a choice in how we decide to react to what's happening. And I choose the positive. The alternative is just it's a lot less unhappier, and I'd prefer to be happier and than not happy. Don't get me wrong. Certainly have had my moments in the last year. But yeah, I'm all about showing up positively and having the ability to do that, knowing that that could affect someone else, you know, just one person in a positive way when they're not feeling that way. That's a good thing. So.
Wow, it sounds like something that really helps to live your life and to achieve your goals. And you personally have more than 20 years of enterprise experience helping your clients to achieve what they want in life. And in your opinion, how in general it is important for each person to have and acknowledge the goal in life, and how do you think would it help if the whole humanity has a goal, and what could it do?
Yeah, I think, you know, listen, I think that the important thing is realizing that we're all in this together. You know, it's very easy to kind of silo ourselves right into our own little bubbles. But I think if anything, again, the last year has shown us is that while we are siloed in our own bubbles, we don't have to be. We truly can come together through the power of technology and have conversations like we're having right now, literally around the world. We're on opposite sides of the world right now, having an amazing conversation with people that are joining us from all over the world. Like, that's incredible. Can you imagine a time when we weren't able to do that? How would we all be living right now? I think it'd be a very different world. I think we'd be coping, managing, dealing with things in a very different way. I know I would be. I mean, I'm so grateful for technology to be able to come together with people, because I am a social being. I think the thing too, just for an underlying message here to understand, is like, I wasn't always that way. You know, I was a miracle baby in the 70s that wasn't supposed to live. I weighed 1.5 pounds. And then I grew up with, so I fought for every breath to make it into this world, and then grew up with a neurological disorder called Tourette syndrome, which are uncontrollable tics and twitches. And you're not aware you're doing them either. So I was different and weird and in ways that I didn't look at as a positive. Right. And it took me a long time to kind of grow into myself and deal with being bullied and deal with adversity and dealing with being an outcast and all of that. And to love people in a way that I didn't, because I didn't understand how one human being could treat someone that way. And so that shift happened, you know, through my life. And, you know, I wanted to bring people together. I wanted people to feel happier, uplifted, more positive, just feeling better, right? Walking away from an experience with me. And I think, honestly, I think if we all thought that way, if we all had a more positive outlook, again, not saying that we're living in a positive outlook, but that our outlook is, okay, well, things may not be great, but we can look at them in a different way and know that we can impact things in a different way, and we can bring people together in a different way. And you know, if we just, not to be cliche, but if we all just loved one another, you know, I think we'd be living in a very different world, right? It's not about what color you are, what background you are, what makeup you are, what religion you are. We're all human beings with a heartbeat, right? Above and beyond anything. And before the job and the role and the title of the company and all of those things, we're all humans with a heartbeat, just at its root core. So I think if more of us thought about things that way, if more of us looked at people that way, again, I think we'd be living in a really, really different world.
Thank you, Brian. I really love what I hear. And I would like to say that I would definitely bring your contact to Creative Society. Actually, I want to mention that sometimes we ask our guests how would their profession, how would their content they produce can change in Creative Society. With you, I don't want to change anything. Just take it and bring it with us. So my question will be a little different. From your wife, I can understand that you meet and communicate lots of people, thousands, maybe millions. So my question is, from your experience, what do you see, what unites all people in the world, regardless their religion, nationality, social status, marital status, and any other difference can be from outside? What is same in all of us?
Yeah, I kind of alluded to it earlier, and I would say it again because I think it's something that's so important, you know, and we've heard plenty of songs throughout the years that'll share the same thing from some pretty amazing artists that put it out there. And I think whenever we have drastic impact that's taking place on the world, right, in the world, that this always comes up, and it's love. You know, I think if we all, I always say it's the heart of it all that matters. And I think if we just come together with our hearts, right, and again, just love one another, you know, not judging one another, just truly loving one another for being, right? I mean, the fact that we exist is incredible, right? And the fact that we can live where we do all over the world and have completely different lives and experiences, and yet those things that connect us, right? It's the hearts that connect us. I mean, we find those things that we have in common, and those things that we have a passion for and that we love, and you know, and again, just the human spirit. I mean, I think that gets lost easily because we're moving so quickly in the world, right? We're and next thing you know, it's the next day, it's the next week, it's the next year, it's the next 10 years. And you look back and you go, where did time go? And this pandemic, right, this global pandemic that we've been living through, I think has put a pause on the world in a way that we didn't expect. Again, silver lining. And we've been spending more time focusing here and less here. And I'm hopeful that as we come out of this, when we do, that will stick. Like in all facets of life and business, that will stick, because that is the root core of everything. I mean, it is the heart of everything. That's where our passion comes from. That's where our creativity comes from. That's where our love comes from. It's where everything comes from, right? And I think the more that we can focus there, the more that we're able to share this, right? We can share more love in the world, and it will be received by more, and we'll be able to, I think, just go to a better place. Don't get me wrong. Like, I believe everything happens for a reason. I believe we are going through this pandemic for a reason. I don't question the why, because you'll drive yourself crazy trying to figure that out. But if you look for the good and the silver lining and kind of just shift our mentality and focus on, like I said, here versus all here, I think that will make a significant impact as we go forward.
It sounds so powerful. Thank you so much. And before the interview started, during our conversation, you mentioned the importance of your attention focus, of the importance of tracking where you are, what you're thinking about, and where are you going to. So could you please share your opinion on how a regular person who really wants to support this lifestyle like you just described, what should he or she do? What should be the first steps to really feel that love, to really start being grateful?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Elena. I think there's a couple things, and I've done this too. So one is like shifting your mentality and focus. It's not easy to do, but like gratitude is an incredible gift. it's an incredible gift to give to someone, and it's an incredible gift to receive. And I mean receiving like if it's coming towards you, but also as you're giving it out. So I would actually say, you know, a great exercise to do is actually to think of 7 things you're grateful for right when you wake up in the morning, like literally after you open your eyes. And right before you put your head down at night, 7 things that you're grateful for. And if you do that every day for a week, you literally will shift the way that you think about things. One of my weekly Global Award-winning live shows is literally all about sharing gratitude for others. It's about sharing the love and the gratitude for those that have made a positive impact in your life that week. And we do this each week. We just literally have had 151 weeks of doing that, and people coming together, you know, as I call them, the positive vibe tribe, coming together and sharing that gratitude and that love for someone or many people, right, that have made a positive impact in your life. And letting someone know that is really impactful. You know, it's like, Elena, if someone said to you, thank you, you've made a really impactful moment in my life this last week, and it was really positive, and you would consume that and go, wow, I didn't even know that. That's amazing. Thank you. Right. And you're sharing that gratitude back and forth. And that's really something that is powerful. The other thing, as I had shared, is thinking about the positive, the good, right? Because no matter what we're going through, what we're growing through, there's always you're still breathing. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your refrigerator. You're healthy, right? I mean, again, you can see, I mean, these things that we naturally in life will just kind of take for granted because we're moving so quickly and focusing on so many different things that we're forgetting what is literally right in front of us. And that's us, like right in front of us, right? So I think focusing on the good, as hard as it is, I know, and focusing on what you're grateful for, as hard as it is, I know, it will change the way that you think about things, view things. But I think the other thing too is realizing that you never know what someone else is going through. And especially in the last year, we've been growing through together. And just reaching out to someone and asking them a very simple question: how are you? How are you doing? And just listening. Because I think there's so many people that aren't asking the question. And I think there's so many people that aren't talking about how they're feeling. You know, and when you pack all that down, it just compresses, and it's really hard to break through all that with positive and good and you know, and gratitude and all of that, right? Because you're feeling so many emotions. So I am all about fostering those spaces. It's really incredible, you know. I've had people come on the shows who are depressed, who have COVID, who you know, yes, they come and they feel better because we make them laugh and smile and share gratitude and dance and but also cry. You know, like people will come on and they'll have moments, and we embrace it together, you know. And the really cool thing is that it's not just, you know, my team and it's everyone who shows up in the comments. You know, they're supporting and they're lifting and they're sharing and they're having these great conversations together. And again, it's really positive, you know. And even if there's someone who shows up where it's negative, right? You can tell they're going through something, you know. They start having conversations with each other, like, you know, hey, it's okay. We're here for you, right? And again, knowing that you're not alone and knowing that you have people that are there to support you, I think is such an important thing. Not just in these times that we're living in, but all the time. You know, we're never alone. We just have to open ourselves up and kind of open our hearts to knowing that, okay, there's people. I always say your vibe attracts your tribe. You just have to show up. And if you show up, they're there. They're literally out there waiting for you. You just have to open yourself up and just take the step.
Thank you, Brian. Amazing mission you have, I would say. I don't know if you heard about, but there were some blood investigations. Blood of different people was taken for testing after listening to some positive content and after listening to some negative content. And after positive one, blood was much better, the quality was better, and macrophages, those cells which are in our blood for defending our body, were way more active. So actually you're treating people. I'm very thankful for that. And I feel like we are slightly switching to our topic, creative society. And I would like you to ask, how do you envision a society where every person in the world, again, regardless to any differences, can be happy?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think we've talked about a bunch of those things already, right? And at its root core, I mean, if again, if we all just love one another, you know, I think we'd be living in a very different place. And I think, you know, being open and caring for one another, and let's just treat everyone equally. You know, let's just treat everyone like we are human beings, you know, and not judge one another by the color of our skin, by the religion we partake in, by the beliefs we have, by the, you know, just again, human to human, heart to heart, right? It's really basic, and I think it's the root of all of it. It's really easy for us to complicate things, right? I mean, we choose to complicate things. We choose to decide. And I think if we chose to decide to love each other as human beings and support one another and help one another and give to give for no other reason than just doing that, without expecting anything in return, you know, there is a natural boomerang effect that happens. Because as human beings, and I do have a degree in psychology, but as human beings, we do want to help one another. We do want to be happy, and we want to receive it. We want to give it, and again, just I think the challenge is that some people wind up in a hole that's so deep that they just don't know how to get out of it, and they get stuck there. And if you're open to coming out of that hole that you are in and reach up, there are people there that'll grab your hand and help. You just have to open yourself up to that, right? So hopefully it answers your question a little bit.
You did. You really did. Amazing society you described. And actually our goal, the goal of the project Creative Society, to make such conditions in which every person could spread this love and get this love without fears, without closing from outside world because of some difficulties and home routine and so on. And in order to build a creative society, we actually should be united by one goal. And as a basis of building such a society, the 8 foundations of the Creative Society were formed as a result of thousands of interviews and social surveys in more than 180 countries. These foundations are mentioned in the article on the ALLATRAUnites.com website. Dear viewers, you're welcome to read it. And let's watch a video about these foundations.
This Creative Society project was born by the initiative of the people themselves. After we carried out many social surveys, interviews, conferences, and well, we talked to many people really all over the world. These 8 foundations of the Creative Society is the result of the desire, the demand of the people themselves, because they talk about it. They tell us how they want to live, where, in what world, in what kind of society they want to live. what values are the most important for them. And after analyzing everything, we understand that yes, there are these 8 foundations that now we can share with everybody. It is a complex of values of each person in this world.
Thank you. Brian, I will briefly describe these foundations in English. First one is the human life. Second foundation, human freedom. Third one, human safety. Fourth, transparency and openness of information for all. Fifth, the creative ideology. Sixth, development of personality. Seventh, justice and equality. And eighth, self-governing society. And I'd like to ask you, how do you think would change the society we see in the world now if these foundations were already implemented, if the human life was already in the priority, if everybody could feel safe and freedom in our world? How do you think our society would look now?
Yeah, and do you think, Brian, that it would help us to open the our potential to the fullest? I mean, each individual, would it help?
Absolutely, I think it would help. I mean, if we all felt safe, right, no matter where we were in the world, if we all felt like we were free, right, if we all again looked at each other as human beings with a heartbeat, and I think it would change a lot of things, right? Society as it exists is very different today. You know, you have many different people all over the world who agree with what's being talked about here, right? And you have so many others who look at things in a very different way. And as we talked about earlier, right, it's those experiences that we go through in life that affect us in different ways. And because of that, we wind up on a path. And like we said earlier, we have a choice. We can decide to react one way or the other. We can decide to react negatively and stay there, or we can decide to say, this is something that has happened to me, but it doesn't define who I am. I can make a choice in how I want to go forward from here. I can let it consume me, or I can decide to go in a completely different direction and take it in a more positive route. That's not easy to do. Again, I know from experience, it's not easy to do, but you make a choice, right? And as in my case, I say with everything that's happened in my life and all the struggles that I dealt with and faced and come out of, I've made a choice, right? But I believe those choices happen at different points in our life, and they happen when they're supposed to happen. And we then decide at that moment to go, yes, I would rather go this way than that way. I realized that, again, from the experiences, it was sharing those stories to help positively affect and impact other people, right? Because I think that's the other thing is I want everyone to know that they have a voice in a story and that they matter, and that their voices and stories can positively affect, impact, and inspire another human being's life by sharing that. And if we all thought that way, felt that way, regardless of age and in life where you are and all those things, right? I think we would be in a very different place, because there's a different level of confidence that comes with that, and acceptance and gratitude and emotion and vibes, feeling, all of it, right? So long answer to a short question, but yes, I absolutely think that we'd be in a very different place if we were, living that way.
Thank you for your answer, Brian. Very inspiring. And for me, creative society is something very, very like what you are doing. It's about having conversation with people around the world, and giving them this another perspective that we actually can build something else. We can do something much happier. And what do you think, how important it is? You partly mentioned this question before, how important it is to have these conversations, to ask each other in what world we really want to live, and not only to feel as if you have already answered it's negative, how to turn your mind to something creative.
Yeah, again, I mean, our thought process is what we think is what comes to be, right? We have the ability to put those into action. And I always say incredible things happen when we come together. And I think if more people come together in a positive way, and again, I've seen it literally happen, right? I mean, the more people that come together in a positive way, that is affecting change. And that's contagious in a good way, not to use a word in a pandemic that we don't want to hear, but that's a positive contagious effect, right? Where positivity is brewing amongst many people all over the world. And again, it becomes a ripple effect. One positive can affect another. People ask, how do you change the world that way? One person at a time. Because one person affects another person, affects another person, affects another person. You never know who you're coming in contact with, right? So it's a pretty cool thing to know that, one person can change the world, and it's because we come together, we come in contact with one another, and then that kind of just positively spreads. And like I said, you never know what somebody's going through, and you could reach somebody at the right time where they consume that and go, yeah, and that may be someone who before wouldn't be thinking that way. They were in the negative corner, and in that moment they're like, they've shed every wall that was standing in front of them because they're so tired, and feel some of that positivity and goodness and go, that feels much better than the other stuff. I'd rather have that. And then take that with them. And next thing you know, they wind up affecting someone else who is in a similar place. And yeah, so I'm all for the positive. I am all about radiating positive vibes. I think the more of us that do that, like I said, we would be in a much happier place together.
Thank you, Brian. I love the idea of this geometric progression of an effect when you spread some information. And actually, I'd like to share one fact that one of our participants calculated how many days is actually needed to inform all the world, over 7 billion people, about the creative society. And if every person spread this information to 5 more people every day, it will be just 14 days. And my question to you is, which ways do you think can be also used to spread the information about this possibility to build a creative society to inform as many people as possible?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're literally living it right this second, right? I mean, and what we've been doing together for the last 35 minutes is that technology, right? Technology is such an incredible way. There's always a way, right? We've all found a way together in a time where we can't physically be together to actually come together, and to come together in many cases stronger than we ever have before. So, taking advantage of the opportunity of technology to bring people together is an incredible gift in all forms and fashions. And know that they're there, because a lot of people don't know they're there. A lot of people knew they were there and basically were like, yeah, no, I don't need to do that, because like I said earlier, I can get together with Olga, I can get together with Elena, in person, but you can't, or you haven't been able to. And so this is the next best thing, right? Because the only thing missing with video and technology is you can't give that person a hug and you can't smell them. Although I'm pretty sure somebody created smell-o-vision in the last year of this pandemic.
Television.
But yeah, I mean, but again, it's such a powerful mechanism, because all of those vibes, you can feel all those vibes through the lens. You can emote, you can feel, happier, you can feel sadness, you can feel everything, you know, and you really have the ability to affect someone in such a positive way and to reach somebody's heart through technology. I think in ways that most people just, they're not thinking about that. They're like, no, I can't do that. So yeah, I would say technology, absolutely.
Thank you, Brian, for all this inspiration and your contribution and for what you are doing in your life. It really just energizes and inspires to move further and to continue doing what we are doing, what people around are doing, and support this positivity around us and create all together something really important and something really something that matters. And as a tradition of our program, we will ask you to share with us ideas of whom shall we interview next time. And I'm sure you have amazing friends or people that are ready to share their inspiration with the world.
Yeah, my gosh. I mean, you've as I understand, have spoken to millions of people, and it's something definitely for me to think about in terms of the actual who. Because yes, I mean, there's so many people that are looking at things from the positive outlook that we're talking about, right? And looking at the silver lining and looking at it from a, you know, the glass is half full, not empty, and all of those things. So I'll definitely be sharing with you all, you know, who I might think would make sense to have conversations with, because I'm a big believer in, you know, again, as much positivity we can bring to the world, and those that we can bring to have those conversations, just like we've talked about, it becomes a ripple effect, because the more positive that you bring, the more positive that you hear, the more positive that you feel, consuming that, you wind up giving it out as well. So I'm all for that. All for that.
Yeah, then let's stay in touch and we will look forward for your suggestions.
Yes, no, and I really appreciate both of you. I appreciate everyone. Thank you, Akmal, as well, behind the scenes, who's producing the show, and to all of you that are with us today. You know, again, as I started, I'll leave the same way and just send all my love and prayers and positive vibes to each and every one of you. I hope you're staying safe in these times that we're in. We will come out of this. We just need to stay safe and stay positive and stay together, you know, physically distant, socially together.
Thank you. Wow, amazing show we had. Actually, such a small piece of your positiveness, but it shows a lot your personality. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing.
Please let me remind as well that this project is run by volunteers, and people are doing that and they are free from job time. And actually, this is something that amazes me, that people on the planet, on the globe, they started to talk to each other and that get acquainted. So if you are interested, you also can contribute and become a host or co-host or be a guest and share your opinion on the things that are going on the planet. So go to ALLATRA Unite's website and press join button. And Brian, could you please also, yeah, this is actually the website. Also, everything is done by volunteers, by people from around the globe, from more than 180 countries. And Brian, could you please tell us maybe one message? You said stay together, and maybe something that will help people to act. Something.
Yes. I mean, I think it's just reiterating something I mentioned earlier, which is just, you know, incredible things happen when we come together. And I think if you just, again, live in your heart and know that it's the hearts that connect us all together, that, you know, just open yourself to that, and know that, again, good things come when we come together and when we positively come together.
Thank you so much for your time. I know how busy you are, and it was incredible conversation. And I ask our technical support after we finish the interview, please turn on the video 99%, because it is proven that there is more than 99% of kind and good people who live on this planet and who want to live in safe and prosperous society. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brian.
We are more than 99%. We are people. All the earth we stand for. Our prophets' words and truth. We are more than 99%. All united in one God, in one love. Our prophets' dreams come true. We are the 99%. We are wrapped and being fooled, but those who only 1%, who stole our rights and freedom too, they took our benefits away and left us with your simple rights. Our right to die for their gain, and right to listen to their lies. 1% of them, 99 of us, stop today. What's going on? We are sighted and awake. Now we know what is the truth, and we know what's fake.
We are more than 99%.
Нас больше 99%.
All prophets dreamed of peace and love in pure, united, happy world. We friendship and